Caleb Downs, one heck of a play by the young guy. We talked to defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. He said, every maybe once in 40 years, you get a freshman that comes in, and right away he plays just like a junior. That's how he described Downs.
The name Caleb Downs has been trending in the world of college football for the past year. This has left many people wondering why. What is the hype surrounding Caleb Downs, and is it warranted? Downs was the top-rated safety in the class of 2023 coming out of high school and top 10 in the country overall. His debut in college football was highly anticipated. Some football fans think Caleb is all hype, while others are projecting Downs to be a future top pick in the NFL draft for the safety position. With only 1 year of college football to show for his talent, the rising sophomore and true freshman has made his name known on the national scale after his star-studded season with Alabama. Caleb was born and raised in Georgia. At 6 foot, 203 pounds, even in high school, he had the makeup of a professional defensive back. Downs attended Mill Creek High School, and it would be here where he would make his mark as one of the most elite defensive backs in the entire country. Now, I know what you're thinking. All of the top-ranked players at the high school level don't always pan out when it's time to make the jump to the pros. And there is definitely some truth to that statement. However, for what it's worth, Downs is the real deal, and we will break down his collegiate performance later in this video. For those who may wonder if Downs has been good his entire career, let's take a look at the data. In 2019, Caleb was just a freshman in high school. During his debut season of high school, he was named the starter on varsity for Mill Creek while finishing the season with 5 interceptions. By sophomore year, Downs cemented his name as one of the top rising players in the country after winning the Max Preps All-American First Team selection on defense. He would also play both ways this season with 175 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. On defense, he finished sophomore year with 57 total tackles. I mean, this would be a great foundation for the back, as his junior year was just an introduction of what Caleb Downs could actually do. As a junior in high school, he quickly became a two-way player for Mill Creek, scoring touchdowns through rushing, receiving, 2 pick sixes, and a kickoff return, even with the passing touchdown added in. On defense, he elevated his game, recording a total of 77 tackles, 11 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions on the year with a forced fumble and sack. If this wasn't enough, Downs' efforts pushed Mill Creek to an 11-2 season, while earning first-team All-American and Region Defensive Player of the Year. Sheesh. Just to think, this was all accomplished in one season. In his senior year, Downs was ready to let the country know he was the top defensive back in high school. He finished the year with being named the Max Prep National Player of the Year and the Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. In his senior season, Caleb displayed mastery of all 3 phases on the field. He finished the season with 389 rushing yards with 20 rushing touchdowns to go along with. On the receiving end, he caught 36 passes for 422 yards and 3 touchdowns. He even upped his passing game with 2 of 4 passes being completed for 39 yards and 1 passing touchdown. His defensive game would improve as well with 83 total tackles and 5 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes. Top off this amazing season, Downs played a part in leading his team to the 7A state championship in Georgia, which is a big deal, and a 14-1 record. With such an impressive high school resume, it is no surprise that Caleb accumulated over 34 total offers. Through all the noise, Caleb decided to take his talents to Alabama to team up with legendary coach Nick Saban, which we have done a video on before. When Downs first committed to Alabama, there was a little hesitation around how the anticipated star would actually perform at the D1 level. With athletes like Arch Manning not even having the opportunity to show his skills his first year of college, Downs was also expected to take the backseat in the depth chart when first committing. However, this changed quickly as Downs made his name known in camp. This season, Alabama's true freshman standout defensive back Caleb Downs led the Crimson Tide with 107 total tackles on the year. Not only did the freshman lead the team, but he also became the first Alabama freshman to lead his team in tackles in program history, dating back to at least 1970. I mean, his technique is sound, his pursuit is devastating for opponents, and he's very smart when it comes to football IQ at the safety position. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but Downs arguably could have been a first-round pick if he was eligible for next year's draft. To further prove this statement, his 107 stops were also the most by a Tide freshman in the last 50-plus years, while he was also named the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year. As a defensive back, when it comes to tackling, there is no gray area. You either are a player who can get offensive players on the ground, or you become known as the defensive back who can't tackle. Downs would opt with the first option, as it is no question in how physical he plays. On top of this, Downs was selected as a first-team All-American by Pro Football Focus, along with SEC Freshman of the Year by the conference coaches. In the SEC alone, he ranked 4th in total tackles while also being named the SEC Freshman of the Week for his game against Middle Tennessee and at Mississippi State. In his very first collegiate game ever, Downs recorded a team high of 8 total tackles. This would launch his college career as he finished freshman season with 107 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble along with a recovery, and 2 interceptions along with 5 pass breakups. But this wasn't all. He would also make an impact in the return game, returning 4 punts for 87 yards, even scoring a punt return touchdown on the season. I get it. With all of the stats that Caleb has put up, some people still may think he's a fluke. Can Caleb sustain this level of play throughout the remainder of his career and even into the pros? Only time will tell, and what better way to find out by testing with a new team. It is no secret that Caleb's name has been buzzing primarily around the transfer portal, as he made the decision to enter the portal following Nick Saban's announcement of retirement earlier this year. Caleb initially chose to take his talent to Ohio State, creating waves of emotion through the college football landscape. Many thought the true freshman would go to Georgia instead to rep his home state. For Alabama fans, the news was highly disappointing after getting just a taste of what Downs can bring to the game on so many levels. For Ohio State, this move was the perfect piece to a missing puzzle. If there was one hole on the defense next year, it was finding another starter caliber safety. With the addition of Downs, Ohio State has just gained arguably the best secondary in the country with a strong cornerback room to complement. Now, it's national championship or bust for Ohio State, which might have the best defense and running back duo on paper, along with 5 former 5-star receivers. As this upcoming season approaches, the attention on Downs is now higher than ever. With the stellar freshman season, the college football world is awaiting the performance of Downs with his brand new team. He will be exciting to watch this upcoming season for sure. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you want to see how great Nick Saban actually was, then click this video.